Hello, everyone. My name is Hans Martin Reh, and I'm the Global Channel Manager for Racket Sports, here working in our Chicago global headquarters. I'm very, very excited to be with you today. But first of all, let me just extend a very heartfelt welcome to all of you, and also to let you know that I do hope that you're all safe and healthy, and this does include your families. I'm excited to be able to talk to you today because I would like to give you a little peek behind the curtains. So I will try to give you an insight on our strategy, our mindset, and our latest thinking. So I hope this is both insightful and also exciting for all of you. So with that, let's get going. So the first one is this theme. This is our annual theme. It's called On the Offense. And as you can see in the right bottom corner, it's going to be featured on every single slide going forward. And why did we select this theme? It has to do with our current situation that we all live in. You know, it's a true crisis, but a crisis also provides opportunity for growth and do things differently. And this is something that keeps us up at night. And if you look at the next slide, and if you just look at the industries on the left and the disruptors per industry on the right, I think this is pretty telling. So who would have thought that Netflix, a brand new company, and in the meantime, a true brand, would have disrupted the movie industry? So the disruption came from the outside. The same for the music industry through a computer company by the name of Apple. And the last but not least, the most obvious example, which is Amazon, that clearly disrupted and shook up the entire publishing industry. So speaking of our mindset, we feel that we always have to be at the forefront of innovation. And I think this quote from Mark Zuckerberg says it all. You know, disruption can not only come from inside, but also from outside. And therefore, we have to continuously think about the future. And what it boils down to, it's about reinvention. It's not about going back or recovering, which means going back to where we came from. It's about the future and what we need to do in order to be on the curve or even ahead of the curve in the future. And with that, I just want to expose you to our four phases. And as you can see on the very left-hand side, we reinvented ourselves back in August 2016, almost 4 years ago. This is when we came out with the new RF97, the black on black design, which just marked the start of an incredible journey. And then we transferred this so-called uncontaminated design approach onto retail. And as you most of you probably have realized, black is a very, very important color to us. And this is what we did with our premium partners in order to change the landscape when it comes down to the brand communication at the point of sale. And now phase 3, this is something that we just completed, and I will touch on it a little bit later. And then we just entered phase 4. And phase 4 is about re-engineering, reinventing our business model. And if you think of transformation and the business model transformation, then obviously the digital component is very important. And who are the drivers of a digital transformation process? Usually you would think it's the CEO or the chief technology officer, but actually the virus, COVID-19, is probably one of the biggest drivers of the current situation. And it all starts with the consumer. Consumers' behaviors and habits are changing, and we just need to be very close to the consumer and always be almost a bit ahead of them, because some of our consumers do not know what's going to be next, but this is something that we need to work on. We need to provide them with the solutions that they haven't even thought of right now. And so we're going through a business model transformation, and it's very much about the digital component. So we will go more direct to the consumer, which doesn't mean that the majority of our business will still be in wholesale, but obviously the direct to consumer component of our business will increase quite significantly over the months to come. Now, switching gears a little bit, I also would like to share with you the mantras. This is about how we approach the business and what we do and how we think about certain things. So very quickly, expect the unexpected. we always want to delight and surprise the consumer. If it is too expected, then probably it's not going to create as much excitement as we need in order to create demand for our products. Now, the next one is equally important. Best story wins. We all need to be great storytellers. It's not just putting a product into the market. The question is, what is the story that we can put around this very product and potentially also connect it with an athlete? And this will then make this product resonate with the consumer. Another mantra is more of less, which ties back to sustainability. So sustainability is a very, very important topic for us. And this is going to accompany us for the years to come. I mean, we started this journey with the launch of the Trinity Ball. Hopefully you already play tested or even coach and lecture with the Trinity Ball. Very exciting story. And this is, like I said, just the beginning. And we have a pipeline of other products and stories which are about to see the light of the day relatively soon. Then, speaking of the consumer again, so youth, millennials, but I would also go even younger, Generation C and future generations to come. Youth is energy, and they are the most influential consumer group for us. That's why they are also front and center of everything that we do. We want to excite them. We want to surprise them, like I said before. And they can have an impact on other consumer groups for sure. And last but not least, we are obsessed with the very consumer, whether it's the youth or any other consumer segment. And I just used this image, which is an image from our Clash campaign. And I think this is where we basically set a new benchmark for Wilson relative to all the campaigns that we came out with over, I would say, even the last decade. And I think the reason for the success of Clash is also due to your support, but also as the story was extremely well thought through, well rounded out, and absolutely looked at through the lens of our targeted consumers. Now, speaking of the consumer, and this is a strategic shift. So while our focus is on athletes and players usually, and this is not going to change, we would like to add another consumer segment. And this segment is the fan. I mean, some of these spectators in the stadium here that you can see on the right-hand side, they might not even have stepped on a court, not even once in their entire life, but they still follow the sport. They love the sport. They love the athletes. They are fans of Roger Federer, for instance. They like the aesthetical side of the sport. And they just want to be associated with the sport. But the question is, what can we do for them so that they can show their appreciation for the sport? That's why we will enter into collaborations. I'm sure you're aware of what we did with Supreme and Yves Saint Laurent, for instance. This is just 2 collaborations that I would like to mention, and there are more collaborations to come in order to address the potential that we see with the tennis fans. So if we just look at this slide here, I'm going to share with you 4 concentric circles. One is the culture of tennis. The other one is the culture of youth. Then sustainability, but it needs to be relevant. And this will be completed by a 4th concentric circle, which is performance innovation. And where those 4 circles overlap, this is where we will position the Wilson brand. And therefore, we have come up or evolved our positioning statement, and it reads as follows. Wilson will be the first sustainable performance lifestyle brand. And while sustainable is probably self-explanatory, performance lifestyle is something which is critically important. And I just touched on all those collaborations. This is when we merge. This is when we bring performance and lifestyle together. And I think this is something which will help to drive demand, to drive excitement for the sport, but also for the Wilson brand and business. Now, from there, I just want to move on to product criteria. Just want to share with you what we do and how we assess a product before we bring it to market. There are 5 criteria. However, I only want to focus on 2 out of the 5. So the first 3 ones are pretty obvious. It should be new, it should be better, and it should also be different. But like I said earlier, this is the 4th one. There needs to be a story that comes along with every single product, because this is when a product becomes meaningful. It needs to be insightful. And last but not least, it needs to be able to connect back to our mission. It needs to be mission compatible, and this relates in particular to sustainability. And with that, I just want to introduce you to our new mission statement, and this reads as follows: we exist to create the story of the sport while fully committing to its sustainable future. Now, just one word on sustainable here. This not only relates to products and, for instance, what you did with Trinity to reduce plastic packaging, etc., but also to the sport itself. We are here. We have a responsibility to also grow the sport and create a sustainable future for everyone in this industry, including ourselves. That's how we see it. Now, I'm coming to the end of my presentation. Just some closing thoughts with you. This mission statement is very, very important, and you are our evangelists, you are our ambassadors out there. So we would like you to endorse our mission statement, and also please convey it as much as you can. Design innovation are critical for us. Product is, at the core of our storytelling, and therefore you can expect from us some exciting products to come. Not only later this year. Everyone is expecting new pro stuff, so we can confirm that there will be a new pro stuff coming out later this year. But obviously, we already worked on spring summer 21 and the seasons to come, and we have some exciting things in the pipeline. So the pipeline is full, but ideas are always welcome, and we don't care where the ideas come from, whether it's internal or external. So if you have an idea, please bring it on. Please let us know and just serve it up. Next, very important and a sincere thank you to everyone here on the call. We are the leading brand. We are the #1 brand in performance rackets globally again, and this is also, this was also possible with your support. So thank you very much for that. But we seek dominance. The job is not complete or finished yet, and therefore our partnership is a two-way street. It's not only about the ideas, but you should always ask yourself, what else can you do? What else can you support us with, so that we can both win together and win even more so in the future. And at the very end, it's also about doing the right thing. So yes, we're fully committed to sustainability, but it goes beyond that. We also want to be, and we want to become, a more diverse and inclusive brand. So this is something that is also very close to our heart, and this is also what we're working on. So this sums it up of my today's presentation. So hopefully this was of some interest for you. Also that it provided you with some insights on what we're working on, how we're thinking, where we would like to go. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention and wish you all the best for the remainder of this year. And hopefully we can see each other soon, either virtually or in person. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Bertrand Blanc. I am the Global Commercial Director at Wilson Racket Sports, and I'm very happy to have the opportunity to take you through what we are doing at Wilson with the commercial team. I am French, I am based in Paris, and I am today based in France because of COVID-19 pandemic, and I don't have the possibility, unfortunately, to travel as much as usual, but we still manage to manage the business on a global basis and on a day-to-day basis virtually. And I hope that you and your beloved ones are safe, and that you will enjoy this virtual training camp as much as I do. What I would like to present to you in the next 5 to 10 minutes is a very high-level update on our brand and commercial strategy. I will explain for those of you who are interested in understanding or getting more insights into what we do with the commercial team at Wilson Racket Sports, what is our strategy and what have we done over the last few years. And last but not least, I will share a brief business update on 2020. How is our business doing? And how do we see the rest of the year and 2021 coming? So let me start by first sharing this slide that I believe Hans Martin presented earlier in his presentation. This is the positioning of Wilson Racket Sports. And we see the brand as being at the convergence of 4, I would say, elements: the culture of tennis, the culture of youth, what we call performance innovation, and also relevant sustainability. We are obviously passionate about our sports, not just tennis. The same would apply to padel, badminton, or any other racket sports. We think that youth is the future. Performance innovation is a no-brainer. It's a given. We have to stay competitive on our toes, and we have to do it in a relevant way, and sustainability is very important today. And so we are challenging ourselves to be more sustainable. How did we execute or implement this strategy over the last 4 to 5 years? First, we started with products, insisting and focusing on design and innovation. Then we launched a new distribution. We decided to be more selective. And very recently, we decided also to challenge ourselves when it comes to our brand communication. How do we communicate? How do we lead in terms of brand from a video point of view, from a photography point of view? And the future will be about how we can grow our sports and how we can grow the overall business. We talk about growing the pie and growing participation, making more consumers come to our beloved sports. When it comes to our commercial strategy, it is pretty simple. We divide it in basically, I would say, 2 buckets. The first one is where to play, and the second one is how to win. The where to play is basically, hey, where do we want to play the game? With which consumers? In which categories of our business? Is it just rackets, or is it also padel? Is it also footwear? Which markets? Are there any epicenters out there? What are the key cities where we want to be number one and where we have to win? And with which channels of distribution? For instance, offline versus online. For instance, premium partners versus multi-sport destinations. And the how to win is, okay, what are we going to do to separate ourselves from competition? And here, the key word, as you can see, is really premium. We want to be positioned very high-end in everything we do: products, spaces, experiences, and activations. What do I mean by premium experiences, for instance? By that, I mean, hey, events like the Laver Cup, which we have been partnering with for the last 3 years. But also experiences like customization on Wilson.com, which is truly unique. By premium activations, I mean, of course, our marketing campaigns. How do we activate, consumers' demand out there? through our campaigns, but also through anything we do on tour with our players, both male and female players. And last but not least, what we do on a day-to-day basis on the ground with you at grassroots level, in the clubs, in the academies, and in our key partner stores. For those of you who are willing to hear a little bit more on what we do on a day-to-day basis within the commercial function, so here are a few insights. I would basically summarize it by saying that the commercial team deals with or is responsible for four main responsibilities or things. The first one is sales and margin management. The second is planning and forecasting our business. The third is what we call distribution management, and also how we merchandise our stories and our products. And the fourth one is partnership management. Sales and margin management, which is the first responsibility, it's pretty simple. It's basically managing our P&L, but more than ever before, we try to do it in a profitable way. So it's not just about growing our sales, but it's also to make sure that it's mutually profitable, both for Wilson and our customers. Forecasting and planning, this is more of a back office role, which is basically trying to understand how the market will react and how demand will look like, not just tomorrow, but in 6 months, 12 months, or even 18 months from now, because we are planning very much ahead. We need to work with our factories and make sure that we produce enough, and not too much, but enough to satisfy the demand out there. Distribution management, which is our third responsibility, it's basically managing the way we go to market, with which partners, which channels. You may know that we launched several years ago a new selective distribution policy. 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, in Europe, and 3 years ago in the rest of the world. And that was meant really to be a bit more selective and to provide more differentiation and more clarity towards our customers and consumers. You may have heard about the Premium Partner Program that we put in place to support the business of our very best specialty partners, which count a lot for the business we do out there. But merchandising is also a critical element of that. And merchandising, it's also about how we present, our products, our stories. We have branded spaces in many locations around the world now, in more than 80 locations around the world to date. How we merchandise our limited edition products, for instance, this is a commercial responsibility, and also fixing prices and determine what is right for the brand, at which price our products should be. Last but not least, the management of partnerships. This is our fourth responsibility for me and my team. It's about managing the French Tennis Federation and the new partnership we have with Roland Garros, same with the US Tennis Association, and the very long relationship we've had with them on the US Open. But it's also about managing new collaborations and relationships with other brands. For instance, brands that we collaborate with on new products, such as Supreme, for instance, Saint Laurent, and tomorrow Brito. We're going to launch a very exciting range of products with Brito. And in 2021, we will also launch a brand new range of Minions, Universal Minions products, co-branded products. So this is also what we are doing, me and my team. So this is about the strategy, the commercial execution, what we have been doing, and our key priorities and responsibilities. Now, let me give you an update on the business with a focus on this year, 2020. But first, before I dive into this year's, you have to understand that 2019, last year, was an exceptionally strong year for us. It's been the strongest year in a long, long time, both from a sales and margin perspective. We gained market share in pretty every single market where we play in. The Clash racket, which we launched last year, reached a #1 position pretty much everywhere, and we have been able to sustain that position so far. So we are basically up against a very tough year, especially this year, unfortunately, with the COVID-19 pandemic. Needless to say that the business this year has been impacted so far by this pandemic, but not to the extent that we anticipated. And this is good news. It seems that the brand has momentum, and we have been able to go through these very difficult times with quite some success. To be more precise, we are indexing today approximately at 85% versus last year, despite the lockdown that we faced in most markets around the world. We are indexing to date 95% versus last year, so it's only a -5% in Europe, and we are confident that we will continue to catch up before the end of the year. Strong performance in North America as well. There are some markets where it's a little bit tougher than others, but we are working hard to try and catch up there. When it comes to categories, there are some categories that are performing very, very strong despite the COVID-19 pandemic. It's the case of padel and also recreational rackets, with lots of occasional players apparently who decided to go back to tennis or any racket sports. We are selling a lot of badminton products also. So it's great to see that we have gotten back some occasional players during these the last few months. From a margin perspective, hey, yes, it's tough. Because business is tough, we can definitely tell that our profitability is impacted. However, there are as well some categories where we are doing great. For instance, footwear, strings, badminton, but also bags, where our product mix and new products is really driving strong margin growth for us, which is great. So as a conclusion, I would say 2020 has been a tough year. It's not over, so we'll remain very focused, but the pandemic tree should not hide the forest. There are lots of good reasons to be optimistic about the future. The momentum is clearly here, and we intend to really grasp every single low fruit we can to catch up and get as close as possible to last year's level. That's it for me. On that, I would like to thank you first for your time, for listening to me, but also and mainly for supporting our brand, for the love and the trust you place in our brand. I'm asking you as well. I take this opportunity to please continue to promote our brand. It will be more needed than ever, given the difficult times that we are going through, and I know I can count on your support. On that, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and again, thank you very much. Bye.
Hi, I'm Katie Fetting, the Global Marketing Director for Racket Sports, located in Chicago, Illinois, USA, of course, at HQ. I'm here to give you a brief overview of our marketing efforts to date and what to expect in 2021 and moving forward. I'm going to cover our mission, our vision, our present, and our future. So our brand mission is to create the story of the sport while fully committing to its sustainable future. What does that mean? The vision is to form a lasting emotional bond with our brand while empowering all athletes, great and small, to play to their potential. We do this through stories of the sport, on and off the court. We do this by highlighting members of our community and our advisory staff as beacons of this vision. We do this by forming collaborations with like-minded brands, within sport and outside of it. We do this by separating and elevating the Wilson brand above competition via technology and durability. So where we're at today. Today we do a lot of conventional advertising, a lot of in-store stuff, and some digital and e-commerce and social media activities. However, as today's consumer is changing, this needs to change as well. We need to get better at forming one-on-one relationships with our end consumer and less reliance on middlemen to basically share our message. So the marketing tactics we've been using to date are in-store point of purchase, advertising, earned coverage via PR, partnerships, owned digital like our blog, like microsites and landing pages and email sends, events sometimes, not lately, but hopefully more in the future, a lot of paid digital, including paid search, social, and things like influencer giveaways, as well as interacting and providing all sorts of support on social media channels. But where we're going is a little bit different. Where we're going is about storytelling and user-generated content. It's about a D2C first mindset. It's about virtual stories. It's about sharing the stories of our fans and players. It's turning fans into players. And it's about sustainability, figuring out what we can do for the planet so that we can continue to play this beautiful sport for years and years to come. It's also about expanding our reach via audience collaborations. They need to feel like they're part of the Wilson family and part of the Wilson brand. They're not someone that we're just selling to. They're part of our entire experience and at the center of it. As you can see, this is Serena doing an unboxing. It's not professionally produced. It's just shot by her trainer, but it's really something that feels raw and authentic. So in addition to where we're going as a business unit, we have a BA-wide priority as well that is shifting. And that is also moving to D2C as well as into the lifestyle brand side. And so we've hired an agency called Basic to co-create a new overall brand look and feel for us to roll out in early 2021. This will include new fonts, new photo and video guidelines, color palettes, and targets to align with our nascent lifestyle division efforts. So here we see the inner athlete. They have unreasonable optimism, excellence in everything, and intrinsic dedication. That is who we create for and with in mind. When we think about ROI in the D2C funnel and how we connect with these end consumers, it can go from awareness with paid social and display media all the way down to action with that last click paid search conversion. So in addition to the tactics we've been currently using, we're going to add a few to our toolkit in the years to come. For paid digital, this includes programmatic advertising, where basically it matches your interests and your search query history and pops up relevant ads to you. It includes boosted, promoted, and branded content. It's video and branded entertainment, like the Lego movie, except for Wilson Sporting Goods. It's an expansion of our affiliate program to media partners who can put it on steroids. It's our D2C subscription. And lastly, it's collaborations, because there are all sorts of people out there in the world who have fans, who have their own bases of people, who have passions, whether it's cars, whether it's food, whether it's music, whether it's art, that we can tap into and cross over with. And when we do that, we expand our fan base and sell more tennis rackets. Thank you very much. My name's Katie Fetting again, and thank you for being part of the Wilson family. I hope we sell a lot of product. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jason Collins. I'm the Global Product Director at Wilson. I want to spend a few minutes today to speak to you about some of the great stories and products we have coming up in 2021. But first, I want to thank each of you. I have a long history with Wilson. I started in sales, and a key part of my early career was working with our coaches and advisory staff. I still have great relationships with all of them to this day. So I want to thank you for everything you do for Wilson and everything you do for the sports that we all love. So I often get ask the question of what does the global product director do? What does the product team do? So I think this slide sums it up the best. We're really looking to bring out the best in every single athlete that we work with. And that ranges from the top level of the game on the ATP and WTA Tour down to people picking up rackets for the first time. We want to bring innovation through learning. A key part of our job is to understand what consumers are looking for. So we spend a lot of time out of the office engaging with consumers, engaging with players. And I would challenge each of you to just stay in touch with us with your local contact of how we can keep improving the athlete experience on the tennis court. I'm going to start today with the tennis ball category. We've made significant investments in this category. So we have 3 specific areas I'm going to work on. So I will highlight each of those and how we've brought some innovation to the sport. First of all, Trinity. Trinity we launched in the fall of 2019. It was born out of the idea of giving consumers a choice with regards to sustainability without sacrificing performance. For us, it was a multi-year project because we wanted this ball to perform as the same as a high-performance tennis ball, ones that you're very familiar with. We wanted to allow consumers to be able to make the choice at retail and online that they too can make a difference. So Trinity has been it's been again in the market for a bit over a year. We have a couple options available. There's a 3 and a 4 ball sleeve, which is available at retail, and then we also have Trinity Club, which is really geared towards our facilities and coaches to give you guys a choice to also make an impact on the environment. There's technology in this product in the core and the felt. But when we speak about technology, it's important that we link it to consumer benefits of what they're going to feel. So the purpose of Trinity really was to maintain performance and durability and bringing sustainability into the equation. We do that through a core technology called the Engage Core, and it combined with STR Felt delivers in all 3 of those areas. 2020 was our first year of our relationship with Roland Garros. It's our 2nd Grand Slam. Roland Garros is it's one of the premium events in the world, and it was critical for us to speak to European clay court players specifically. We have a full range of products to support the Roland Garros adoption. We have performance rackets, recreational rackets, we have bags, we have accessories. What I want to speak about today is the tennis balls. That's the big part of this deal and the reason why we signed this partnership. So we have 2 products that are coming to market. They obviously launched this year. Timing of the event changed a little bit, so it's a unique time to experience Roland Garros in the fall. But the first ball I'll speak about is our clay court ball. Went through extensive testing with the FFT to develop this product. And again, when we think about consumer benefits, that's the technology. That's the reason why we put the technology in. So the main technology in this product on the clay court ball is Element Guard. Element Guard provides 2 benefits for the consumer. First of all, it reduces weight. And for those longer clay court rallies, reducing weight is critical to maintain arm strength and consistency throughout the match. The other benefit it provides is increased visibility. It doesn't pick up moisture, but it also doesn't pick up the clay, so it stays yellow longer. Probably the longest relationship in tennis is the US Open. We've been the official ball since 1978. It's widely recognized as the greatest hard court ball on tour and with consumers around the world. One exciting innovation that is being rolled out at the 2020 US Open right now is you're seeing here the modern overcap. What we've done here is we've reduced 50% of the plastic, but we've maintained the functionality of keeping the balls in the tube when you're done play. So again, it's part of our efforts to make an impact on the environment and with regards to sustainability. We're going to roll this out first on US Open at the event, but it will go across all premium products in the coming months. And in 2021, you'll see this across all franchises and all products. I'm going to shift quickly to performance rackets, and it's hard to just speak about one franchise, so I'm going to touch on each of our critical franchises. But the other thing I want to, before I get to that, I just want to touch on segmentation. Segmentation is really about how do we make it as easy as possible for consumers to choose a product, be it online or in store. You don't often have the help of an advisor staff or a coach. So we wanted to create in every single category, again, a way for consumers to navigate the selection. So in this example for performance rackets, you can see we have three points, if you will, and these all speak to the consumer benefits. So if a consumer is looking for more power, they would choose our Ultra franchise. Blade, they would, if they're looking for field, they would choose Blade. And then finally, if they're the advanced player and looking for more precision, they'd want to do Pro Staff. I will touch on Clash shortly, but really Clash is something that delivers, frankly, in all areas. So we've got Clash in the middle. So it's a great all-around racket that delivers in multiple areas. In terms of our franchises, the key franchise that, again, much like our US Open adoption, the Pro Staff, it's the most storied racket franchise in the history of tennis. Originally made in 1983, we're happy to announce that we're launching V13 later this month. So we have 3 models available: the classic RF97, of course. Hopefully Roger gets back from his injury soon, and we'll be using it on court. We'll also have the Pro Staff 97 and the 97L. And as you can see by the design, it's really bringing a nod to the history of the design. Everyone remembers the classic pinstripes of the Pro Staff. So it's, again, an exciting time for the Pro Staff collection. You'll see some of the players right now at the US Open are using it, and balance of players will transition at the end of the year. If you haven't seen this product yet, here's just another beauty shot of it, if you will. You can see the visible carbon fiber, and that really speaks to the technology that we've put in the frame. There's a braid technology. We've updated the fabrication, if you will, of the braid, and what that does, that allows for more pocketing of the ball. And for these advanced players, that's what they're looking for. They want to get more precision and be able to maneuver the ball more. We have also made a slight shift to the stringing pattern, which again delivers on precision and control. Everyone remembers in February of 2019, we revolutionized the game of tennis by bringing Clash to market. Within 1 month of launch, it became the #1 racket around the world. And over a year and a half later, it is still the #1 racket, #1 franchise in all key metrics, in our key countries, in our key retailers. And it's just loved by consumers. An incredibly unique feel. It's the most flexible racket on the market, but it's also one of the most stable. Historically, you haven't been able to achieve those 2 benefits in the same racket. So when consumers of all levels pick up this racket, it truly is a wow experience. So I would encourage you, please, this racket, this franchise is critical for frankly, the industry, to help stimulate play. So make sure you get this racket in as many hands as possible in 2021. Everyone's familiar with this franchise. It's honestly, it's on par with our Pro Staff, and the US Open right now is heading into round 3 or 4, depending on the draw side of the draw you're in. It's a staggering 25% of the players left in the draw, I'm talking total players, are using Blade. Staggering numbers. Again, it's our most visible franchise on tour. It really is built for the attacking player and widely recognized by tournament level players of all ages as the go-to racket. So again, we're looking forward to a great US Open with this one and continued success on tour with our Blade franchise. Finally, the Ultra. The Ultra we launched at the beginning of 2020. Unfortunately, these crazy times has probably slowed the impact of it. But for consumers looking for super responsiveness, looking for easy power, and frankly for the racket to do a lot of the work, they got to look at the Ultra. And I would challenge all of you to make sure this racket is also placed into your conversations, because it really allows the racket to do a lot of the heavy lifting for a lot of players in the game. We've maintained the simplistic design that we have across all our franchises. However, we've delivered Ultra on this really sharp looking gloss finish. So it again maintains a little differentiation on court, on the wall, and online. So if this was an interactive presentation, I would ask you, who is this person? Unfortunately, it's not. So I will tell you. This is we know him. Everyone knows him as Bella. So Bella, there's 2 reasons why we've signed this partnership and why he wanted to join Wilson. First of all, as it relates to tennis, tennis is a very stable sport. There's not a lot of fast growth coming. We wanted to look at paddle as an ability to share our knowledge and our innovation with a really fast growing sport. And one of the things that are attractive about Bella, not just his record. I mean, he was 16 years at world #1, but more importantly, his passion to grow the game and grow the sport around the world is really why we're excited to have this partnership with him. Much like Roland Garros, when we enter into any new product, there's an extensive product testing and development process. Some of these things take over 2 years. We engaged with Bella at the end of 2019, and his rackets that you're seeing here are coming to market this month. So very super helpful, a lot of great insights into benefits that consumers need. So you see the 3 rackets here. There's the signature Bella Pro model, which he is playing with on tour right now. In the middle, we have the Bella Elite and then the Bella Team. So all of those rackets are available in September of 2020, and they will support our existing franchises in the sport. We also wanted to surround the consumer with other products. It's not just about the paddle. It's about how you get to the court, how you play on the court. So we have a full line of apparel, we have footwear, and we also have 2 equipment bags, one a duffel that you see here, and then also a bag specifically for the paddle. So paddle, again, we look at ourselves as racket sports. That's the name of our company, Wilson Racket Sports. Tennis is the vast majority of that. However, as we look to the years ahead, we have expectation that this sport is going to double, and we're excited to be partnering with Bella and exciting to be partnering with some of you as this sport grows. So in summary, I could sit here all day and speak to you. We've got a ton of great products, but I know you don't want to sit here and listen to me all day. So I want to thank you for the time today. I will give you a tease. We have some additional great things coming up in 2021 that I can't quite share yet, but I am looking forward very much to sharing these with you in the very near future. So again, thank you for today. I wish you luck the rest of this year. I wish you all stay healthy. And thank you once again for your support of Wilson. Take care. Thanks, everyone.
I'm the tour director at Wilson. As an introduction, I would like to thank you guys, all of you, for the efforts you're making on behalf of Wilson. In my career, through various roles, I've been working very closely with coaches at the club, academy, or federation level. And I know that you guys are the core of our sports. It's great to see that you guys are back on court for several weeks already. Also that the tennis courts reopened. This is really what we needed. Now, moving to the tour topic, we're here for that. We are August 3rd today. And already one Grand Slam got canceled earlier this year. It's Wimbledon. What a tough moment. We all remember, it's a time to refresh our mind on a great 2019 Wimbledon for Wilson players. That was the best presence, most likely in our history, with 4 out of the 4 women in the ladies semifinals. That was unique in the history. No other brands had done that in the past. Simona Halep ended up winning. And then on the men's side, we had 5 of the 8 quarterfinalists, with Roger Federer playing a memorable final that will stay forever in the history of the game. Still about 2019, the Wilson athletes won the most titles at the tour level on the ATP 24. It's a very large gap on the second brand. And on the WTA, it was 16 tournaments. Long was the wait for you guys and the fans to be able to connect and watch tennis, watch pro tennis again. But long was the wait for the pros as well, believe me. They found a setup, an open court pretty early in the process to stay in shape, to keep practicing, keep training. You can see some of them saying hi to you from their training base, but they're not ready to go. 2020, how the season started for our Wilson athletes. The kickoff was spectacular. There was 16 tournaments played this season, year to date, and the Wilson players won 9 of them on the ATP. This is roughly 50% plus, with a very large gap there as well on the second brand. And on the WTA side, Wilson is also the #1 brand this year so far, with 6 titles. What's interesting to see as well is the location of our tournament wins. You can see that we won globally everywhere, in every single region of the world, North America, Latin America, in Europe, with 4 titles, Middle East, Asia, and Australia. So a true global impact. With all these tournament wins in 2020 and 2019, there's no surprise with the ranking. Our players stand very solid, not only at the very top of the game, in the top 20 with 7 players, but also in the top 100 with 37 players, which is a very high number. On the WTA, a very similar situation with 10 players in the top 20 at the moment and 34 in the top 100. These are big numbers on both ATP and WTA, but believe me, this is not easy to secure a sponsorship from Wilson on tour these days. Our program is extremely selective. If we are these big numbers, it's because a lot of our juniors that started their career with you guys at the club level or at the academy level, a lot of these juniors that we selected, included in our international program, made it to the tour. We have a very big ratio of sponsored juniors to players turning pro into the top 100. That tells about how we approach things and how our rackets are well adapted, well prepared for the battle. Talking about the juniors, the current 2 world number ones are Wilson athletes. Harold Maillot from France is the number 1 boy in the world, and Victoria Jimenez from Andorra is the number 1 girl. They both won the Australian Open at the beginning of this year. Now, moving to our racket franchises on tour. You are Wilson coaches, so you obviously know everything about our various racket franchises, right? The Blade, the Ultra, the Pro Staff, and the Clash. Starting with the Blade. This year at the Australian Open, there was 24 Blade players in the men's main draw. Blade alone was bigger than any other brand. Blade alone. On the women's draw at this year's Australian Open, there was 27 Blade players, same thing, same situation, bigger than any other brand. With this situation, we can say that, hey, Blade is tennis. It's a very rich and diverse franchise for us on tour with some established pros, some very cool next-gen players, and a lot of up-and-coming juniors that you'll get to know very soon once they break through on tour. Don't be shy. Feel very confident recommending the Blade to your students, to your players that you're training. There's a Blade for everybody, whether you are 8 years old, 15, 16, 18, 20 years old. There's a Blade for you. The specs are extremely well adapted and it's working very well for all type of players. Another Blade story, very cool. I like this one a lot. Serena Williams. Serena always told us, hey, I don't want to be behind on technologies. I want to be first to try. Serena approached us a few months ago with a project. She wanted a bit more accuracy, more control on the key moments of the big matches. We have partnered with her on court to develop a new racket that she has been using since beginning of this year, 2020. And you will see again that racket this summer and this fall. Now moving to the Ultra, there's a new Ultra that came out, and all our top tour players have been using it. Gael Monfils, Madison Keys, Borna Coric, Kei Nishikori, of course, Kristina Mladenovic, Maria Sakkari, so many others. So you will get to see them competing on court with the new Ultra, whether they use the Ultra Pro, the Ultra 100, or the Ultra 95. Pro Staff transition is coming very, very soon. Our players already have the new Pro Staff. It's a new version, very exciting Pro Staff version. I like it a lot with new technologies. I recommend that you try it as soon as you can, once it will be available in your market. Grigor Dimitrov, Kyle Edmund, Roberto Bautista, Riley Opelka, Petra Kvitova will be using it in 2020, and Roger Federer at the beginning of the 2021 season. We have developed this racket with Roger. Roger partnered with us on the design, and it's exciting to think about Roger coming back on tour with his new racket. Now moving to strings. I won't teach you anything about strings. You know the importance of tennis string for a tennis player, even more for a tour player. For you as well, it's important. Luxilon is the #1 brand on tour by far. To give you some examples, in the ATP Top 100, Luxilon is 2.8 times bigger than the second brand. The most used tennis string in the ATP Top 100 is the Luxilon AluPower. If you want to have an idea about the tournament wins, this year, 16 tournaments were played. 88% of them were won by Luxilon players with a Wilson racket or with another racket, not a Wilson racket, 88%. If you're a tour player, you don't want to use anything else because it seems like this string helps the performance. Another insight about strings on tour, 4G is the second most used Luxilon franchise in the top 100. One more insight, there's a latest trend booming at the moment, the Element 125 by Luxilon. The pro players are using it as an hybrid, mixing it with the AluPower of the 4G to have a better feel, a better control. Try it out. Juniors are very important for all racket manufacturers. That's the case for Wilson as well. We want as many juniors to use Wilson as possible. And we believe that a junior using a Wilson racket has a greater chance to make a successful transition on tour. But hey, you guys can help our scouting efforts. If you know in your club, in your academy, in your city, in your area, in your region, a junior with a top 100 profile, just let us know. You know what it takes as much as we do. It's not only about the technique or the movement, it's a lot about the attitude as well and the work ethic every day, being willing to improve. If you know a junior like this, can be 11 years old, can be 16 years old, whatever, just send us an email to the address you see on this screen to Quentin. Quentin is our junior tour manager for Europe, and he will connect with the player. Please send us the name and as well the contact details like the email or the phone. With that, I would like to thank you and to wish you a great second half of 2020, a very solid start for 2021. Be strong, take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.